Welcome to Podcaster Toad. My name's Red.
I'm Matt.
I am Dak.
I'm Naberzunner.
Today was the multiplayer reveal, and we got a
Right.
little zombies tease, like some of us predicted,
Mm-hmm.
and some
Let's
of us
go.
were naysayers, including me.
Including me.
Um, yeah.
Guilty as
So
charged.
yeah, short little, couple second teaser, but a lot to talk about. A lot of little details people might have missed. I guess we can go around. What is like one thing that stuck out to you as your favorite thing about this teaser?
I will start. I think the biggest thing to me was seeing the staircase that we all think might be knocked. That for me, just liking Ether, hoping Ether is, not even the characters like what we've said and talked about, just the universe itself to be back. I really like seeing knocked in there. And the graffiti I think looks pretty fresh on it. So that's what it is for me.
For me, I think it was the horror vibe that immediately, the where you have the flashlight, things look darker, grittier. Kind of reminded me of World War II zombies. Like that was the thing that stood out. I'm like, ooh, this is interesting to especially go back to the roots of zombies.
Dude, straight out the gate, Juggernog jingle. Oh my word. The feels that just flooded into me the moment I heard that. It's like we've been away for so long. BO4, as much as I loved it, no Juggernog, and I was just starved for it, but it's returned. The feels.
My answer is pretty lame. The thing that stuck out to me was there's a flash of Weaver from the Black Ops One
Ooh.
campaign.
I don't
And
know.
that man got done dirty because he after Black Ops One nothing. There was like a stream recently with James C. Burns, the real Frank Woods, where he said that they had a storyline for Weaver they were going to do in Black Ops Two. It just never happened. So I'm really
Interesting.
excited to see him again.
So is he now in Zombies story?
Yeah,
Is that-
potentially. It seems like which
Oh,
so,
hype. No, I don't think that's lame, dude.
Yeah.
I'm glad you pointed that out because that is hype.
compared to Noct and Ether and just huge
No,
reveals. Like, oh, Weaver, guy from 10 years ago. Let's go.
I would hardly disagree because I think that's just the very thing I've been looking forward to seeing is like how who's going to be next introduced into if we're going to do zombies, who are characters going to be, and if it's going to be a campaign character, I have never been so on board for such an idea. I absolutely love that.
Absolutely. So in terms of little details, yeah, like you said, it seems like the staircase looks like Noct. I mean, it's the same structure and everything as Noct. So to me, it seems 100%. It could be wrong in either words, but it
Right.
seems to be the universal agreement.
I think so. I really think so.
Right. The big thing is the graffiti, which is like
Well, yeah, but I meant like even like structurally, like there's like a pipe and something overhead, and then looking at the comparison of the
I was wondering, right,
stairwell.
because also low right there's a blocked off door you can see, um, a wooded off door. I didn't know what that was about, but yeah, there's just something. It's just that
Although,
staircase just makes it look so nocty.
wait, is that the staircase in the mystery box room? Because the one tweet I'm looking at
Yeah.
is comparing it to the staircase. Okay.
Oh, I was thinking the staircase in the main room. Of course
I was
I
thinking the
was.
main one.
Yeah,
I'm an idiot.
because
That
no,
makes
no, no, no,
much
no,
more
no.
sense.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
same thing. Because I'm looking at the tweet right now, and It's the I think it's from Okami, and they link the Ascent from Darkness. The big stairwell where you spawn. But now I'm thinking,
Oh.
is that in the mystery
Yeah, no,
box room?
that's the one that's like I've been thinking like 100%. It looks like that.
Yeah,
Mystery
that might
box
be
room.
that.
Okay. Cool. That's cool. Okay. So that's right. So that I think we can touch a little bit on the graffiti. Panaz. You can see the little graffiti of like a rabbit and a girl in a little like race car kind of going down the stairs type thing. And Panaz throughout maybe that's something Rabbit and Alice go down the rabbit hole type thing, which I thought was an interesting idea. I really just like all
Right.
of that graffiti. I think it's
Right, yeah.
it's
It's
so
got a
fresh. It looks
very
so cool.
80s vibe kind of to it.
I
Just
just
something very different for like the gritty, gray feeling of Noct. It's
I just
interesting.
like the idea that like if this is Noct or something, it's like an urban legend or like a place where people go to like hang out,
Right.
or I'm thinking like delinquents or like skater people,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, this is where the cool place is, and some spooky stuff happened here, but maybe
That's so cool.
things are
That would be
Yeah.
that'd
more
be
real
interesting.
than you imagine.
So I think that leads us to the next point then of we get to see another section of a map in the trailer, and some people think it might be related to transit. So maybe right, the Noct we're seeing is not Noct itself, but it's just part of an expanded or just a transit redo. How would you guys feel about that?
I feel like with the teaser, I can't tell. Does it make more sense to tease 2 maps or just tease 1? And like, I feel like Knocked, if it is Knocked, I feel like people are immediately going to think of it as the separate map rather than the section in transit. So I don't know if they would have that foresight to know that that would sort of be, unless they're intentionally trying to mislead. Like, I don't know. Like, Knocked is so iconic that I don't think they would tease it without. Honestly, I thought the room, what it almost looked like a teleporter or power room or something. I thought maybe was that like under Knocked or something like that, or this is like a whole nother part of the facility.
That's true. I mean, this is a map with, the zombies are wearing some sort of German uniform. We haven't, pinned out if it's a Nazi uniform or if it's an East German, like, Cold War
There are
era.
armbands, we think.
Right. We were trying to figure that out earlier. But that would imply, why would they be in an American facility unless they're all, test subjects or whatever. But I think it would make more sense to have more native to the area. So this is presumably in Germany.
That sure seems to be the case. The uniforms, definitely a number of them due to suspenders and some belts across them. And like you pointed out, Matt's what appear to be armbands. They do look like Nazi uniforms, like a Nazi honor guard. But there is that one that's kind of lit up brightly in the middle of the light. His helmet is like got a wider base than most of the Nazi helmets that you see, and it's far more reminiscent of the post World War II East German uniform. But just a thought, maybe it's a mix of the two. Maybe we have some old classic test subjects and maybe some Cold War era ones.
Again, it goes to that vibe of like, oh, don't go to the crazy Nazi, airfield. There's like it's like an urban legend, and you go deep enough and you find the actual Nazis. Like that's just the vibe that I'm getting.
Yeah, it also gives me vibes of like the Berlin Wall and all the graffiti on that. The first description we got of this mode is that it's about Cold War experiments. So
maybe they tried to continue.
Yeah, like continuing Group 935 stuff and having some of their old army that they were working on.
Yeah.
Oh, so like this could be could have been collected from Duriza, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so in that same scene that we see what we think to be the knocked stairs, we see a couple other interesting things. One, we see a bomb, maybe a nuke, but no doubt a bomb, and it's just hanging from the ceiling. And below it is we get a monkey bomb. So with the jug, we're just getting all the ether vibes here.
Yeah. See, now the bomb would then make me think of Transit and the Hanford site and Manhattan Project, but it's an app. But I don't know.
That's what I thought too. That the bomb and trying to tie this into like an American program, it really makes me think Transit as well.
Does that bomb give you a little bit of Lost vibes, man? I mean, I guess anytime you see a hanging bomb.
Just hanging it. Yeah.
I
didn't even think of that until now, but yes, that is a great observation. And then the other thing that we see in that exact same scene is a glowing purple arrow leading up the stairs. So who knows what that's about?
Ooh, I think so. I think it ties into the flashlight, where you're probably going to start in the dark, and then you have your flashlight to navigate, and then maybe the glowing arrows will lead you to turn the power on. That's my guess.
That'd be interesting. Okay, so let's talk about that, right? So we started, like you said, your favorite thing was the World War II vibes. It's just creepy, right? So we start out with a very low. It's very dark, and we just have a circle of light. So do you think? I think it was Dizzy made a joke, like he's got like a flashlight in his mouth, but maybe he's just got a.
It's on. It's like a headlamp
or something.
Yeah. Was he holding the gun with one hand? I couldn't tell.
Yeah. See, I couldn't. He looked like it, but the flashlight wasn't at an angle that. I didn't know what the hell he was trying to hold with it. Maybe it's at like his chest. I don't even know.
Yeah, it is kind of a weird. Yeah, I guess I could see. Yeah, if it's like his chest and he's sort of tilting it upward, which, yeah, I could see that.
Right, and then you mentioned Rad the player breathing. Sorry, Matt. Yeah.
But I think that ties into the sort of horror vibes that and to me, it also indicates that it's probably not Ultimus, Primus, or Victus, or any of them, because they don't seem like they would be scared. So it seems like it's someone who maybe, whether they're CDC, whatever, or just a random person investigating this place. Like, whether or not it's actually in the game, at least aesthetically from the video, it kind of gives off that they're absolutely terrified where they are.
I mean, we've been needing some GIs or something, for a long time. Something different from our
Someone with more
typical
stakes.
badasses.
Yeah, it gives me the impression that it's someone who doesn't really know what they're getting into. And it just works so well with that like camera. I mean, with the flashlight like horror angle.
So, all right, I've got to wrap up this part of the section. On the staircase, you can see written into it. It says "A world not my own." Very. That's our new. Is that our new like Ascend from Darkness or Return through Ether or just these real famous writings that we know? Is
World not
this
my own.
one might end up there?
On the stairs, like on the face of the stairs, if you look. Yeah. There's other. Is it repeated? Because there's
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
repeated. So right, we don't. Who knows what's up with that line? But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I know some people talk about maybe this is Dark Ether. Yeah, people have come up with all sorts of different ideas.
Oh. Yeah, no,
Even scarier, Ethan.
we will see
Right.
about that.
So, I guess let's go to the characters and
You
the
know what?
Flash.
I just want to say, quick thing. Well, I guess we can segue into characters. If it is Dark Ether, I don't know why this came to my mind. It's that like, what if the removal of Victus, Ultimus, and Primus actually results in like an even worse world, where they're not there to like fight off these things or something like that. And I'm just sort of thinking about
That would be
that.
such a big fu to talk to Toten, I guess.
Yeah. But I mean, I see it as continuing the story.
In what way?
Just because
Like
it's like, what was the point of their sacrifice if they just made things worse?
Well, would
but I
that not
think,
be
like,
the story of zombies overall? But
Yeah. Like,
I
I don't know.
but that would kind of
Tag to me, no, I understand. But I feel like Tag for me didn't
Pain.
really. It didn't really solve. Like, it just sort of banished them to the dark. I feel like Tag intentionally was sort of left. The break in case of glass. So I feel it does it cheapen the sacrifice? Yeah, but it just I don't know. It didn't wrap everything up. But
I don't think the fact that the map is dark is any indication this is the Dark Ether. I mean, the idea that the Dark Ether is even a place that that is
you can exist in. It's
yeah.
not just a plane.
it's like an antimatter.
There's
particles,
nothing. There's nothing indicative of that to date. We know nothing about it, and it's very safe to assume that it is literally nothingness, or more or less, to an extent, or chaos,
Right.
to use a term that. Moving on. I think that this is just, and I would love to see this. This is very much me imposing my wishful thinking. I hear a lot of people talking about how they don't want to see Ether come back, and I want to avoid as much as possible the sort of, I want to say, YouTuber or like beginner concept of the zombie storyline, and kind of point out that there's a lot more to the Ether story than just our favorite quads of characters, Ultimus, Victus, and Primus. Like they're not all there is to it. We are missing a good 60 years of history, of things that happened in the original universe, in the one universe, not the multiverse, but the one universe between the 1960s when the four arrived at Kino and 2011 through 2025, before the moon was even destroyed. So there's so much here that can be filled in. We don't know who all might have encountered pockets of zombies during this time period, or, I mean, in fact, we have evidence that there was, encounters with this sort of technology during the Cold War from all the letters in the Black Ops 1 terminal. So, I mean, I think we're just due to fill in some gaps here, not necessarily in any way a part of the story that we've been following so far, but just a different experience in that world, in this world that has been built.
I do have a question. Do you think they can resist the temptation
of bringing them back?
Yeah, of bringing back marketable plushie characters. You know what I'm saying?
I'm biased because I love my marketable plushies, but I think they will eventually show up and show. So, like maybe like a la Origins or something.
That's the day I'm like checked out because there's no like.
Yeah.
If they've done
lost
tastefully,
the point.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think it can be, to be honest.
I mean, well, let's say
maybe
it's
a cameo.
I want to hear them, not see them.
Right. Yeah, something like hear them or encounter evidence of them somehow, whether it's like a set of footprints or maybe a photograph or maybe some surveillance footage. You just
But
see
don't
like
just have them
4.
show up.
Yeah, no in-person cameos. Keep them out,
Yeah.
please.
I feel like
Go
at the
off into the portal.
Right. No. Yes, please. No. Yes. No. Last gen Richtofen, because we're on new gen now. We don't need another last gen Richtofen. One
but
was
again, it's
perfect.
cross-gen. I think
right.
Cross
yeah.
It's going to be 1080p Richtofen this time instead of 720p.
I feel like if they do anything, it will be something like Origins, or they'll eventually get their cameo later. Like I think they're probably going to play out a story with the new set of people. I see it more as taking a break, but I think we're going to have it at the very least a sizable portion that will, my guess would be, featuring these new characters or whatever these stories are going to be.
And could I beg for one more thing? We
Please.
love shock and awe. I know. We like an astounding Easter egg. But Call of the Dead's Easter egg was beautiful in its own unique, simple way. It wasn't a world-changing event, but it was an excellently constructed Easter egg. It was mechanically perfect, and it was fun. It was just fun, and that's all we need. We don't need to blow up a planet. We don't need to bring otherworldly monsters in. Just give us some tasks to run.
I don't want higher people or like higher loyal. No, what's the word? That
Higher
we
powers?
higher being. Exactly. I don't. And if so, I want them heard, not seen. Same type
I'm going
stuff.
to say something that may help that theory, is that if it is a standalone Noct, and we're harkening back to World at War, Black Ops, all these things, Noct was silent, and I'm also wondering with sort of the horror theme, if maybe the characters we're going to be playing as are silent. So it would work better to not have some weird overarching Easter egg. There isn't as much dialogue or something like that.
I kind of like that idea.
I don't know, something about that gives me that. I wonder if they're just going to be very quiet, because it lends itself better to maybe like you hear breathing or something like that, but to a more horror themed.
Yep. Good point. Yeah, I mean, we all have kind of slightly differing opinions. I think there's going to be more people that have even more different opinions to us. I think overall thing is not everyone's going to be. There's going to be people that are not satisfied, and they're going to have to accept that's okay. Yeah. There's no way they can please everyone. But stepping off the soapbox for a minute, the trailer had like these. There was 3 different flashes of things that we can make out. The first one was Weaver, which we talked about earlier, who is a character from Black Ops 1. Like kind of just like someone who was on the team with Mason and Woods, pretty important character who has not shown up again for some reason.
Because he's doing zombie stuff. He's
right?
Even like he's the Black Ops of Black Ops.
That's a good point. Oh man, okay.
Oh, that's what you were saying earlier, Rad. Yeah, I think Matt's actually.
Matt's, I was thinking like he just dropped off the face of the earth, but yeah, no, that's a cool idea.
It was you, Matt. Yeah, you said that earlier. That's a brilliant idea. I love it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, so we got Weaver in one, and then we get another picture of a.
Right. There's some woman, and no one's quite figured out who she is, but but Rich Killer pointed out in the Discord. I don't think I've seen anyone else do this. He said that it looks so close to someone named Kane, from the Black Ops 3 campaign, of all places, and I can totally see it. Like you can see like she's wearing like this scarf looking thing, almost exactly the same. It's either modeled really closely, or this is just like,
or it's like her mother or something,
right, or something like that.
Handed down.
Did she travel through time? And I don't know. The other theory I have is that it would be like Weaver's sister, who was like a person in the intel that he was looking for, or not his sister, his niece. Sorry, but
kind of like a World War II zombies sort of connection.
Yeah, maybe.
Weaver's niece. Is that something from elsewhere?
It's from the terminal. There's like a whole thing where this guy named X, like a mysterious person, gives him a note saying that she's alive somewhere, and he's gonna go looking for her.
The X-Files.
Yeah, the X-Files.
Must have been Maxis.
Yeah, Tech. Listen, we're talking about we're gonna talk about this after that.
Restrain them.
Oh my.
And the third flash was It's just like it looks like some Russian soldiers kind of looking at like a wall with some words, and it says project like in German, like projekt, and the second word we don't know.
Yeah, it looks like it's spelled like, I don't have it in front of me, but like CHOSLATION or something, but it just doesn't translate to
Yeah,
anything.
we
We have
can't
no
find a
idea.
word for it. We even asked like our local German speaker. He did not recognize it, so
Hmm.
I don't know what it means, or
Right.
what it is.
Right? I know.
Can we make out the word at least? Like
I
you
think
just
so.
don't know.
Like some of the letters are kind of obscured, or like they're kind of blurry. It's just hard to tell.
Yeah, we are not sure. And then the last thing was in the room that people think relates to transit. You see on the floor a guy in a hazmat suit with, I think, a red tank on his back, and he's next to a brightly colored barrel. So, just an interesting
Yeah,
hazmat
barrels are
reference.
confirmed.
I think if it is
Yeah.
the transit room, it's definitely transit.
Well,
Because it
let's
just
call
doesn't.
it's Hanford actually. So I mean,
Let's call it
Well,
Well,
Hanford.
yeah.
and the
Well,
potential
yes.
of Hanford side is enormous. So I mean, just that thought is awesome.
Well, yeah. That's
Yeah,
definitely
your
true. It
point
just looked
stands. I'm
like
just
the.
agreeing.
No, I gotcha.
Um,
Now I feel like an idiot. Yes, it's the Hanford site, but it looks like the power room like isn't complete. So just in
Oh,
terms of placement, that's what I'm getting because because transit it's confirmed 2025 right now.
it's 2035, but yeah.
Okay, 10 years off, but still,
yeah,
yeah. So to me, it
perfect.
seems that this takes place before, which is kind of nice to get like an in between. Oh, can we see the
I think
bio?
that I think they really could do a whole new thing with transit in the vein of, just the fact that Perseus was stealing
Yes,
information from the Manhattan Project from Los Alamos. Like, I just want that referenced in Hanford, which obviously was huge with the Manhattan Project. I want that connection also somehow.
I feel the same way.
Right.
And kind of with Weaver and stuff, I'm wondering, pun intended, if they're going to try to weave the campaign story like closer to zombies, where obviously campaign isn't going to like explicitly reference zombies, but maybe zombies will rely heavily on what's going on in the campaign.
That'd be
What a
cool.
twisted web we have here.
Yes. Oh, that's
Wow.
A
One
tangled
for
web,
Activision.
sorry.
Too
Tangled
far.
web. But yeah. There was one other detail. It was from like an earlier part of that multiplayer reveal. And Matt, you kind of called it. You said like when the teaser came out, there was like a skull and it was like in a deserty map looking thing, and then they revealed today it was in Angola. So
Which out of all places, which is so
Angola.
yeah, going back to Angola, which is home place to campaign mission in the Black Ops
Mhm.
2, and also Buried.
Which we
So
should reference is, I don't know if this is speculation or like legit confirmation or leak confirmation from Gaming Revolution, but he said, right, this is literally based in the same place, like they are connected, according to Gaming
already
Revolution.
I
really.
mean, you might just be saying, I mean, they have assets there. If they're gonna build a map there already, like with Buried, like if the leaks are correct that they were making it for Black Ops 4, they would have that already. So
I don't know.
maybe so. We'll
Hype.
see.
Hype.
One
Yep.
minor thing I just want to say,
Hyperbole.
the graffiti of the color of the arrow kind of gives me ethereal vibes. Like it's a very purple kind of spacey color, like when you're going
I
through the
don't think it's
teleporter.
I don't think it's spray paint or something. I think it's like
Or like graffiti. Oh, okay.
cosmic goo or something.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, then it adds to that even more. It looks very much that cosmic ethereal thing. So
Only because at the very beginning when you're looking at the bomb and you're gonna before you turn left to the stairs, you can just see it shining so brightly on the like it alone on the wall.
yeah, because if it's what if it is the 115 or whatever in this universe is or like this time it's like how we
Right.
had the blue, is it purple now?
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh
Who
my
knows?
goodness.
I really look forward to a full reveal. I'm hoping that comes within a decent time frame.
Yeah, don't make us wait too long. It's been.
But I feel like would they have announced it? Because we got the announcement for multiplayer, we got the announcement for the initial Cold War trailer. Like, are we
Yeah, I imagine it'll be more surprising, or maybe it'll be like coinciding with some other event, maybe
or
like the open
politics
beta.
going?
Maybe
I
it'll
was
be
gonna
around the
say,
open beta time.
that was going to be my final question to you all as we wrap here. Do we get the zombies reveal before the beta or after? What do you think?
I feel like we could get it before because if they're doing 2 weeks, so it was 2 weeks ago was the campaign or the campaign trailer. Now fast forward to now, 2 weeks would place us, I think,
Right in
2 weeks
between.
before the campaign or before where open beta is happening.
Yep.
So if they're doing it 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, we could get something in 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks after, you then have your multiplayer beta, and there's no like stealing thunder of anything.
Right, and then 1 month later, you just get the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the counter position. I think we're going to wait until after.
Oh.
For a couple of
Okay.
reasons. So they can continue to
Oh.
work on things, first of all. Second, so we can focus on the beta. I imagine they don't want to drag too much attention off of that. And third, because they know that we're used to waiting for zombie stuff. And so they probably aren't in too big of a hurry to share it.
They'll be waiting on that pre-order until then.
Right, yeah,
But
right.
Pawn Takes Pawn is probably going to do something.
no.
Because there has to be more to Pawn Takes Pawn. Didn't they say there's a lot coming?
I don't know if they reference Pawn Takes Pawn, but I definitely think they're going to use the tapes too.
Well,
Do
you
a
put them at the
zombies reveal.
website, like with Zork and everything. Like I thought they said there's still more to come leading up to the initial review or the release.
That'd be
So
cool.
I swore, like, because we got our multiplayer thing now, so I'm wondering now if everything moving forward on Pawn is going to be zombies related.
Right.
Because after the last tease, didn't they say that there's more stuff coming with the like the / truth, whatever it is?
I think
There was
so.
yeah.
Let's hold out hope for more.
Yeah, I guess final message, get hype, but contain your hype, be cautious, don't overly expect, don't expect the world, I'm not saying it's going to be bad, I'm not saying, negative things, I'm just saying don't expect everything you ever wanted to be in this single game right now.
Wise words.
So, yeah, just be cautious, do what you want to do, enjoy the game. But, yeah. Anyway, thanks guys for tuning in.
You're
See you
welcome.
next time. Yep, thanks Matt.
Adios.
Thanks for your time.
Goodbye.